Good morning, my dear friends. May the Lord offer you His best blessings on His day when we all receive His great love and new life. There are so many stories of conversion, starting from St. Paul on his way to Damascus, a killer of Christians, offering murderous threat to everybody, turned to be the best evangelist we can imagine and the best man who committed his whole life for Christ. I don't want to repeat the story of St. Paul today, but something special in the conversion of St. Augustine. For us, we read from his classic book called Confessions. He is the very moment of his conversion happens in a garden of his friend in Milan. Sitting there, he looks back into his life so far and think about, what am I doing with my life? And tears started pouring out like a storm coming out. While he was crying or weeping, he is saying, why I am doing this? Why I am saying tomorrow and tomorrow always? When will I put to this sinful life? So he realizes at that moment he is a captive of terrible sinful life. And when he was pouring out his tears in great weeping, that remorse of the past sinful life and his inability to overcome his desire to be attached to sin, and also couldn't keep continence. That's what he was struggling with. And he expresses that in that moment of weeping with a lot of tears. This moment of weeping is very unique. It is a moment of recognizing as well as acknowledging with inexpressible groanings, what St. Paul called in letter to the Romans, the deep sentiments you express at that moment of your remorse of the past life. It also expresses our ineptitude and powerlessness over our wounded human nature. So we really express ourselves, but through a way of inexpressible groanings in our heart. And we slowly, Augustine, turned towards God, gazing him, seeking his help. He realized he is inept and powerless to resist the temptation and overcome the sins of the past, and continues to dwell in it. So he gazes toward God and finally realizes the grace of God is the greatest medicine and the assistant, great help to overcome the worst of wounded human nature. All wounds could be healed through God's grace. He comes to realize that. And one more thing about these inexpressible groanings he experienced when he was weeping with remorse is also express our deeper yearnings of our heart. There are deeper yearnings in each one of us, you and I, with everyone. When that is inarticulate, It is not well expressed in ourselves. God sends us the Spirit of God. His own Spirit He gives us. What is inexpressible is well articulated with the help of the Holy Spirit. They all become a prayer. Then we express our true desire for God and our need for God in a form of prayer. What is inexpressible groanings become real prayer in God's presence. That is our deepest desire and seeking for our own salvation. That is what finally Augustine found, and he became the greatest saint the church ever had, one of the greatest saints the church ever had. So, conversions may not be so dramatic and big like St. Paul or St. Augustine, but we can go through simple conversions from certain habits that are not in conformity with the gospel of Christ. Let us take baby steps to reach where St. Augustine, St. Paul, and all other great saints reached. May God bless you and you have a wonderful day.